If you want to nitpick the dress code, then I can follow it to the letter. Our junior high dress code was a pain. Most teachers didn't care so long as the kids weren't distracting. The principal of the junior high, however, insisted on enforcing every single rule. A friend of mine wore a long sleeve shirt under a tank top. The principal insisted she couldn't wear the tank top because tank tops were against the dress code. But she couldn't take off the tank top because her shirt was slightly see-through, another violation. Instead of allowing her to simply wear the tank over her long sleeve shirt, she sent her home. I decided this wouldn't stand. I studied every rule in the dress code to prove how stupid it was. I started off small and worked my way up. No open-toed sandals. This one was easy. I wore open-toed high heels. Nothing in the rules against high heels, and the open-toed rule only applied to sandals the way it was written. Shirts must be tucked into pants. Belts must be worn through belt loops. Knocked out too here by wearing a skirt. Skirts, or at least the one I wore, had no belt loops and wasn't considered pants, so I was not required to tuck in anything or wear a stupid belt. Backpacks must be plain colored with no pin/excessive accessories. I picked up a briefcase from a resale shop and slapped it with every sticker I could find. Any random logo or inspirational sticker I had laying around got slapped on it. Technically, a briefcase isn't a backpack. No costumes allowed, and I verified this. My school considered a costume to be anything only worn for a certain period of time or for a certain reason. If you wore it all day, it was an outfit, not a costume. I abused this one so badly. Once a week I dressed up as a lawyer, a clown, a hippie, a Shakespearean actor, a superhero, a cameraman, etc., complete of course with as many accessories as I could handle. So long as I never took them off, they weren't considered part of a costume. I ended up letting kids pick out what I would dress as each week. No crazy hairstyles. Kept my hair natural colors, and kept the styles as something that was at least popular at one point. Beehive took forever but was the most satisfying. Bonus points if I could find pictures of adults who were still wearing their hair like that currently. Shirts are not allowed to have logos or print, only patterns and consistent designs. Consistent designs was my loophole here. No print, fine, but consistent print made specifically to look like a design? At this point, the principal was going mad and she didn't let this one slide. She insisted I change, which I expected. Gym shorts must teach students knees or as long as their fingertips. Guess whose fingertips reach about 3 below her butt? Me. I went from wearing a shirt that said "bite me" all over it, to an outfit that included short shorts. But my shorts were still longer than my fingers. I even offered to change back into my other clothes. At this point in the year, we were almost done with school. Other kids were following my lead, and we were driving the principal mad. I decided to kick it up a bit further. I attacked what should have been the most basic rules. No sunglasses. Rose-colored glasses aren't considered sunglasses because you can easily see through them. Still, the principal jerked them off my face and insisted I wouldn't get them back until the end of the day. No tank tops. I wore a dress with spaghetti straps. It wasn't a shirt, so I wasn't breaking a rule. Belts must be plain with no dangerous materials. Plain it must be, so plain I went. I wore a shoestring as a belt. I wore a braided yarn string as a belt. I even wore a spandex band sewn to my pants as a belt. No Crocs. Crocs are not the only rubber shoe, my friends. I found every off-brand Croc I could get a hold of. Finally, at the end of the year, I wore one of my most outrageous outfits. I wore a see-through dress over leggings and a shirt that barely classified as a t-shirt. I wore shoes with a 4-inch cork heel. I had on fake glasses and a 4-inch wide headband. I wore bangles up to my elbows and anklets on each foot. I had a box to carry my books and that was decorated with blinking battery-powered fairy lights. I walked right up to the principal and gave her a smile. Kids paused to see what would happen. I waited to see what she would say. We'd had this conversation all year. She would point out the rule I broke and I would prove how I didn't. She sighed. Principal, fine, but if even one teacher says you're distracting to the class, you change clothes. We shook on it. Only thing I had to ditch was most of the bangles. They kept clanging while I wrote. In the end, I ended up getting the dress code rewritten and amended, and the principal implemented a new procedure where dress code violations were not sent home. They were noted and students had to wear a piece of duct tape indicating the specific violation. Kids only started to get in trouble after 3 dress code violations in the same week. Since she lightened up on the dress code and how harshly it was punished, she stopped having trouble with kids breaking it all the time. It worked out for everyone.